Now that we've dived deep into understanding AI language models, especially ChatGPT, it's time to roll up our sleeves and get into the practical side of things. Ever imagined having an AI assistant help you draft a CV? Well, today is your lucky day. Writing a CV can be a daunting task, especially when starting from scratch. What do we want to include? How do we phrase it? What format should I use? These are all valid questions. With ChatGPT, we can simplify this process and ensure that your CV showcases the best of you. First things first, you need to have a clear idea of your career trajectory and the positions you're targeting. Once you've got that, you can dive straight in. We'll start by exploring a standard CV template and the type of content that you'll need to add. We'll then explore how to leverage ChatGPT to help you really stand out. Remember, your CV is a reflection of your professional journey. While ChatGPT is a powerful tool to ensure clarity, precision, and relevance, always ensure that your personal touch shines through. Authenticity is key. So let's get stuck in. As you can see, we're using ChatGPT 4. But don't worry, if you don't have a paid subscription, no worries. ChatGPT 3.5 will be perfectly fine and will actually give you some great results. So let's dive straight in. First, I'm going to take you through the structure of the CV, and then we'll talk about how we can leverage ChatGPT and what kind of information you're going to need to add. So you can see the start of this CV. This is a very clean and tidy basic CV template. For myself as a hiring manager, sometimes I have to sift through hundreds of CVs. And for me, something that is simple, easy, something that I can get through, see the person's experience, skill sets, and understand, their job history for me is more important than a glossy, showcase sort of CV. But that being said, it's personal preference and everybody's different. So if you want to pick a more outgoing template, you absolutely can. And there are plenty of applications out there, CV writers. What's important is you get the fundamental content right. We can worry about the formatting after this. And I'll give some resources on places where you can go where they'll generate your CV based on the information you give them, so you can get one of these nice, pretty CV templates. So let's dive into it. As you can see at the top, your name. So pretty self-explanatory. You'll put your name in at the top, your location, where you're based. You can also put a link to your portfolio if you have one. If you don't have a portfolio, as I don't, I just link out to my LinkedIn if that was my CV. Your telephone number, and of course your email address, your contact details, so people can get in contact with you. Your profile. So this is a summary that showcases who you are professionally, what your experience is, where your area of expertise is. And of course, this falls in our project management course, so we're going to be focusing around project management skills. And this is obviously drafting a CV from scratch. Our next module will focus on tailoring a CV to a specific job role and function. So let's continue through. The next section is your skills. And that will showcase your skills that you have that are applicable to your job role. And again, you can leverage ChatGPT to help you generate these. And we'll talk about how you can do that. Your experience. So this will be your experience starting with your most recent role, obviously rolling through your job history. Now, if you've got a 20-year job history, it's not going to be worth showcasing all of this. Focus on the most recent and most relevant job roles that you've had, and obviously list those out. Now, it's important to remember that if you've had big gaps in your career, just be prepared that if you get to an interview stage, you'll likely be asked why that was. So just make sure that you're prepared and you've got a good answer to be able to come back to those sort of things. Then, of course, your education, and again, start with your most recent qualifications and play back. And of course, your hobbies and interests. Now, you don't need to include your hobbies and interests. It can be useful, and the reason it can be useful because if you list out your hobbies and interests, and it so happens that your interviewer happens to share one of those hobbies or interests, that might be a great conversation starter that might set you off at ease and help you build rapport with that hiring manager. So it can be super useful. But of course, you don't need to include it, so feel free to remove that section if you don't want it on your CV. So we've touched on the key sort of structure of the CV, and I'll provide this template. So let's talk about how we can leverage ChatGPT to, really enhance and give you the best chance to land that dream job. So let's start at the top. Going back to profile. Now, this isn't a well-written profile. What I would suggest you do is go through and bullet point list, just as I have here, some of the key skills, your qualifications, and your experience that you have, and just list it as a bullet points. And this is how we can really leverage the power of ChatGPT. So as you can see here, I've put analytical, organized, 3 years experience managing software projects, experience in traditional waterfall, agile, Prince 2 practitioner, Scrum certification, proven track record of delivering projects on time within budget, and deliver budget within 5 million. I've got a couple of others here, leadership skills, and including developing high performing teams. So do list them out. Don't be shy. Try to get the good core key stuff on there. If you've got a really fantastic education and you've got an MBA or you've got something else that you want to showcase, definitely get it in there. And we can actually get ChatGPT to specifically focus on these things as we go through it. So let's jump into ChatGPT. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to paste that experience into ChatGPT. I'm then going to ask ChatGPT, and I'll put this above this, so you can obviously put this first. I'm going to type in, please write my CV profile based on the below experience. I am a project manager in software. So let's click generate, and let's see what it comes up with. There we go. So you can already tell by the wording of this, as a seasoned project manager in the software domain, I bring to the table a keen analytical prowess and strong aptitude for organisation. Now, this might not be to your fancy. It might be too long, and I think this might be a little bit lengthy, so I could ask ChatGPT, please, and I'm very polite to ChatGPT, as you can see, please can you shorten, it would help if I could spell, shorten the profile. This is too long. And you can literally speak to it in plain English, and it will take that away and it will do it. So, and you may think, actually, well, I want it a little bit longer, I want it a little bit shorter. It's up to you. You can also say, please can you include a mention of my MBA from London Business School. Perfect. And if it's too short, you can ask ChatGPT to lengthen it, and that's absolutely fine. So it would be up to you which one you want to use. What I will say is it's absolutely essential that you tailor this to your specific language and ways of thinking. Don't just take it plain off the thing. Make sure you read it and it does apply to you. And that's so important. It has to be personalized to who you are. But obviously leverage ChatGPT's language model to help you really articulate that the best you can. So let's copy and paste this off of here. And we'll stick it back in the final one. We'll stick it back in here. Now, I don't actually want it to say profile here. It's just an unnecessary use of real estate. And I also want it to obviously follow the same formatting as the rest of the CV. So just a format paste. I've highlighted the wrong thing there. So I want it to use this sort of text. So I'll format that there, like that. Perfect. So then you move on to your skills. Now, ChatGPT can't obviously skill you up in these areas. Well, actually, it probably could. But, what you need to do is list out skills that are specifically applicable to you. As I've said, it's so important that you're actually accurate with skills that you are very proficient in. Because one, you're going to need to talk to this in your job interview. But two, obviously, if you land the job, you're going to need to be able to demonstrate you can actually do the things that you say you do. And that's super important. But let's see how we can leverage ChatGPT to give us some ideas. So what we can do here is tell me applicable software project management skills I might want to include on the skills section of my CV. ChatGPT is going to go then and give you applicable skills that you could include on there. Now, of course, they might not all apply to you, so you need to go through the list and pick the ones that specifically apply to you. And I would probably just list them as a bullet point format. Obviously, don't put the descriptions in there as well. But this, you can read through them. Team leadership, demonstrated ability to lead, motivate, and manage cross-functional teams. Have you done that? Are you good at that? Excellent. Put it on your CV. So, this is a really powerful tool and it can give you some ideas. If that isn't enough and you think, cool, it doesn't match anymore, you can ask it for more. You could give it specific context. And of course, if you're not looking in the project management field, you could give it a different narrative and it would absolutely give you those skills for those specific industry sector that you're working in. Excellent. So you'll use those and obviously you'll paste them into a similar, clean format that you can get them on. Right, then we come to your job history, which is so important, and we've just spoken through the structure of it. So, what you can do with this is you'll go through, you'll write this, you'll put your job in, when you worked there, what your key responsibilities and achievements were in that role. And then you can obviously paste that into ChatGPT to get ChatGPT to either rewrite that for you, or just to give you tips on how you can make that, better or improve the way you've written it. So let me show you how you can do that. So we would go to ChatGPT and we would ask ChatGPT, and again, always got to be very polite, please check the way I have written my job history and let me know if it's formatted in a correct and professional way. And then we'll go back. We will copy your job history, paste it in, and it's going to evaluate what I've written. It's telling me it's well structured, but it's giving me some suggestions. It's saying I'm not consistent in my punctuation, action to verb variation, so it's giving me a few tips. And now it's actually giving me a revised thing. So I still written it. It's still applicable to me or to this imaginary person in this case. But you can leverage ChatGPT to help you write it, make sure it's effective, make sure it's articulate, make sure there's no spelling mistakes, punctuation issues, and then get it onto your CV. Very, very powerful. Okay, so once you've gone through your job history, you'll list out your education. I don't think you need to leverage ChatGPT on that. You just need to list it out in a concise, structured way, starting with your most recent qualifications. And again, with hobbies and interests, you might want to write them out, and then you could ask ChatGPT if you've articulated them in a good way. But again, you can check all these things, and you can check the formatting and how you've presented the information. And ChatGPT will give you some feedback on what it is. So I hope this has been super helpful. I hope this is giving you the confidence to go out there and draft your first CV or renew an old CV. As I've said, in the next module, we will focus on how you can tailor your CV to a specific job advertisement, and we'll run through that in the next video. Thank you.